Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we get to meet authors from all over the world. I know many of our viewers are prospective authors trying to get across the finish line with that first book. Well, our next guest has got across the finish line 6 times. Welcome, Pastor William Stringer, Sr. Welcome, Pastor. Welcome, Bill. You said I could call you Bill.
That's correct.
Tell our viewers where you are.
Well, I'm in Dayton, Ohio. Been here all my life, all my 78 years.
Wow, 78. That's great. Now, you've written 6 books. I'm going to put the cover up of, I think this is your latest book, The Bird Afraid to Fly. Is that right?
Yes.
And his name's B-U-R-D.
B-U-R-D, Bird, the Bird Afraid to Fly.
Now, I know you've written some inspirational books. Are they mostly for children?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are for children and young adults. One is of a spiritual nature, and the other is one that's for any age, but it sort of mirrors what's going on today, the day the sun came out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found that one quite exciting. I found the description very exciting. Tell us first about Bird the Bird. Tell us about the story of the book.
Bird born is afraid to fly. And down the road, there's an incident that causes Bird to do that which birds naturally do. But Bird is afraid of heights. And so Bird is, to me, it's to inspire those who desire to do something in life to go ahead and do it. Give it a try. Don't give up.
That's fun. That'll be fun for kids. And I say this every once in a while. I like to buy books for kids, but when I do, I send one to Grandma because kids love to read their book that they've heard and have Grandma read it to them. So when you guys go to order this book, I hope you will. Don't order just one copy for your kid. Send a copy on to Grandma. The other thing is the age that these books are written for, kids are always going to birthday parties, so order a couple extra ones as the gift for the birthday party. What a great gift. That book will be around forever. Bird's the Bird. Bird, the bird afraid to fly. He's afraid of heights, for goodness sakes. Tell me about the book you're describing a little bit. It's a kind of a fiction book, fictional account of what might happen if America had a civil war.
That is, well, it's not civil war. It's actually being attacked by our enemies, which most people would say would be Russia and China. But it tells of 2 men, Tony and Clifford, who grow up in different environments, but they have great similarities as far as their likes and dislikes, and they're both veterans of the military. And they find that at some point they have to band together in addition to the population to fight off the enemy.
And yeah, it sounds exciting. It sounds like it could be one of those movies, those action films.
Exactly.
I'm going to put up here the cover of my favorite book you wrote that I have not read yet, Crazy People You Meet at Church, or Crazy People in the Church. Tell us about that one. You were a pastor for how many years?
I was a pastor for 14 years and assistant for about 6 years. So I've been in the church most of my life. But Crazy People in the Church is not what people think. It talks about our topsy-turvy world, really. But the crazy people in the church, basically, and I'll give you just a little hint, it'll probably give you the whole thing, is that the crazy people in the church are those who are actually dedicated but are criticized by those outside the church and some in the church. But it's to inspire those who have lost hope in the church to give God a try and not to let anybody come between them.
Yep, we've been there. Now, I want to read a few. I want to get a few of these for my kids. Kenny and the Penny.
Kenny and the Penny was a book. Well, it was inspired by stories I used to tell my boys. They're now in their 50s when they were children. And it's about, based on my nephew, actually, but the story is not true. It's just a fictional thing using my oldest nephew. And it's about a little boy who loved pennies. But this book also aids youngsters in learning their alphabet and also how to count. And they're counting money basically, but when you can count money, you can count anything.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, money is a fun way to start. Now, this
Yes.
book is adorable. Is it called Puppy?
Puppy was my first book published in 2018 through another publisher, but I was able to gain rights and I have it now as all my books with Amazon. And Puppy is about, it's similar, it's an encouraging story of Puppy who brother and sister puppies are being adopted and poor Puppy is sitting there and Puppy's a runt, the smallest of the litter. And so Puppy uh, determines to go out into the world and find what Puppy wants most, and that's a master.
Nice, nice. These are all adorable books. Now, what do you have coming up, Bill?
What I have coming up, I'm actually looking at my invention really that
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
working on for several years. It's a game, but it's also a game that it's a game that two can play on a team, and it's to build camaraderie, dependency upon one another,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of things that you would do at a company event to build that closeness with everyone. It can be used in colleges, high schools, grade schools. I can't give you too much on that,
Yeah.
but that's my main one I'm working on now.
Your mind's always going, Bill.
Uh, well, I always loved playing games,
Yeah.
and when I was raising my boys when they were smaller, I would never let them win. I wanted them to learn how to win
Yep.
because nobody gives us anything.
Yeah, that's right.
And so these games just they inspire me to inspire others, and that's what this game is about to have one another depend upon each other as they traverse. I can't give you too much on this, but as they go through the game.
We might steal your idea if you give us too much. I remember
Yes.
when my son was 12 years old, he beat me at chess.
Ah,
And oh, you let him win. I don't let people win. That wouldn't be fair to him. So I get your message on that.
and Mike, I was the same way. People used to tell me, "Oh, you ought to let them win." I said, "Life doesn't let you
Yeah,
just win."
yeah, never does. So, um, Bill, do you have another book coming up? You got one in your head?
I really do. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't put it on paper. I have one that's based on Saul of the Old Testament,
Hmm.
and again, I can't tell too much, but it's about what I've seen in the church and
Hmm.
the type of personalities
Yeah.
of the Saul syndrome.
I want to I'm going to put up a picture of Puppy again, your first book. What year? When did that come out?
2018.
2018. So most of our authors, they all came out with books in 2019 or 2020 because of COVID, but you had already had the idea of writing a book before that.
Actually, the day the sun came out, that was I thought about that over 20 years ago. I just never put it to pen and paper.
Yeah. Are you a disciplined author? You sit down every morning at 6 a.m. and start typing?
No, I'm a short story writer because the wheels are always turning,
Hmm.
and so I find I do best doing short stories. I'm not a novelist. I prefer the short stories, and then the reason I prefer them because you could hop on a plane and you could read something,
Hmm.
and read it to the finish, uh, or any other, riding on vacation in a car or on a bus or whatever, and you have something to entertain.
Yeah, I love short stories. I could go through one a day, and you're done with your reading for the day, and that's it. Bill, you're inspiring that you've done so many. Oh, I meant to ask you about the artwork in these books.
Well, that's another story. Puppy, that artwork was done by an illustrator, my previous publisher.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been able to acquire the rights to Puppy from my other publisher to Amazon, KDP. So I'm looking actually for an illustrator. The other books, such as The Bird Afraid to Fly High, can you
Uh-huh.
see that?
Yeah.
That's my artwork.
Okay, that's fine.
That's my artwork. And so some of the other books that are designed for children, the artwork is mine.
I have your title under your name on the screen, author and inventor. I'm going to scratch that out and put author, inventor, and artist. All right, Bill. Any last thoughts for about your books or about anything in the world that you want to share with our viewers?
Well, I had the opportunity. Our church has a program through our CDC called the Scholars of Hope. And so I was able to mentor a couple of young children, one in the fourth and one in the sixth grade, very smart kids. And I autographed some of my books and gave them to them.
Yeah.
The thing that we were working with them on was their reading. And so I had a young man who wants to be an actor. So I was teaching him how to express himself when he reads. And the young lady, she's very enthusiastic as well. And I was able to work with her as far as her pronunciations and breaking down words so she can read them. I think that the children, we need to start at a very young age. My boys were 2 and 1 when I start teaching them their alphabets and numbers and things like that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you start them young. Always have books for them. And
Yes.
so go to, where do we go, to Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon. Uh-huh.
Go to Amazon. Here's a whole bunch of books you can see in this picture by William B. Stringer Sr. Order them, but just don't order just one book. Order 5 or 6 books. Give them out. Like I say, send them with your kids to birthday parties and stuff like that. If you give the gift of a book, that kid will have that book in 10 years. They don't throw them away,
Yes.
that's for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Bill. You kind of inspired me with so many books and good lessons in the books, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Mike, very much for your time and allowing me to be on the show.
It's my pleasure. I hope you'll come back again when you get, especially
Appreciate
when you get the invention completed.
Okay, definitely will.
All right. We'll be back with another author right after this.
Thank you.